Uh, but okay. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. We would like to welcome everyone to the STEM is Fun from Students to Students webinar. Thanks for tuning in with us. We hope that you'll be able to benefit from this webinar. My name is Muhammad Itaniel.
And my name is Lisa Pavel. We are Form 5 students from SMJK Shantau. We will be your moderators for today. It is an honor for us to be able to moderate today's event. For your information, this webinar is a student-based program, which means that this program is not run by any officials or any educators, but as students instead.
Okay, to those who already came in, please let us know if you can hear us clearly in the chat box. Can you guys hear us? Looks like they can. All right, thank you for the response. It seems that everyone can hear us clearly. To inaugurate this event, let us invite Ustad Muhammad Haziq Harun from SK Pangkalan TLDM to lead the opening prayer. Ustad, I hand over the stage to you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Al-Fatihah. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. اللهم أنت العزيز الجليل. Sesungguhnya kami pada petang ini, ya Allah, ingin merafakkan kesyukuran dan kepujian terhadap-Mu atas kurniaan-Mu yang tidak ternilai. Allahumma ya Hakimil Aziz. Sesungguhnya kami berhimpun di ruang alam maya ini dalam program webinar STEM Siri 5 pada kali ini. Ya Hayyu ya Qayyum, ya Zal Jalal wal Ikram. Kurniakanlah kepada kami limpahan ilmu yang berguna dan kefahaman yang benar. Satukanlah hati-hati kami, ya Allah. Eratkanlah silaturahim dalam kalangan kami. Padukanlah tenaga dan usaha kami, ya Allah, untuk memartabatkan pendidikan bangsa secara bersama demi mencapai kecermelangan dan kegemilangan. Ya Aziz wa ya Sattar, jadikanlah kami, ya Allah, dari kalangan hamba-hamba-Mu yang taat dan bersyukur. Jauhilah kami, ya Allah, dari melanggari perintah-Mu. Kurniakanlah apa kiranya, ya Allah, kepada kami kesihatan yang berpanjangan, kesejahteraan yang sempurna, fikiran yang waras, minda yang cergas, rezeki yang halal, zuriat dan generasi yang beriman, serta segala kebaikan di dunia dan di akhirat. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you to Ustad. Let us proceed. Welcome to everyone just joining us. It is a great pleasure to be able to be here with you guys live on YouTube. On behalf of PPD Kota Kinabalu, we would like to thank everyone for joining this program. Ladies and gentlemen, for today's event, we are joined by several distinguished guests. I am pleased to welcome our distinguished guests. Firstly, we have Puan Tanya Haji Zaman, the Kota Kinabalu District Education Officer, as our officiating guest. We are also very privileged to have Puan Doreen Peter Lyson Abdullah, Timbalan Sektor Pembelajaran. Another one of our honored guests is Puan Elizabeth Mak, the headmistress of SMJK Shantau.
Our next guest, Puan Wong Ling Ching, the headmistress of Sacred Heart Kota Kinabalu. We also have Puan Yao Surani, the principal of SK Mutiara Kota Kinabalu. Lastly, another guest we are very honored to have is Puan Lau Su Fun, the principal of SK Pangkalan TLDM. For your information, e-certificates will be provided at the end of this webinar, so be sure to stick to the end. Please don't forget to invite your friends so they too can benefit from this event.
Gentle reminder that everyone is free to ask any questions during the Q&A sessions later. Please refrain from using vulgar language or asking unrelated questions during this whole webinar. Take note that doing so is strictly prohibited and serious actions would be taken. We apologize in advance if we are not able to answer your questions, but we would definitely try our best to inform the presenters on whatever questions you may have.
Also, we will be switching our language based on the presenter's preferred language to present. Before we go any further, we would like to welcome Puan Tanya Haji Jaman, Pegawai Pendidikan Daerah Kota Kinabalu, to give a welcoming speech. Madam, the stage is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Salatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Rabbi syrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Salam PPD Kota Kinabalu Day to Change. Salam Sabah Hebat, katakan tidak kepada nombor 16 dan katakan iya kepada 10 terbaik Sabah Maju Jaya. Yang berusaha Puan Doreen Peter Lyson Abdullah, Timbalan Sektor Pembelajaran, Timbalan PPD Sektor Pembelajaran, merangkap penasihat Majlis Webinar STEM Siri kelima. Yang berusaha Puan Elizabeth Mak, Pengetua SMJK Shantau, Puan Wong Ling Ching, Guru Besar Sacred Heart Kota Kinabalu, Puan Yao Suryani alias Suryani binti Asang, Guru Besar SK Mutiara Kota Kinabalu, Puan Lau Sufun, Guru Besar SK Pangkalan TLDM, Puan LC Sharon Giluk, SIC PPD Kota Kinabalu yang juga merupakan pengerusi projek webinar Siri kelima. Tidak lupa kepada Encik Frederick Leong Soh Ando, pengerusi pelaksana webinar Siri kelima ini yang juga merupakan Ketua Bidang Sains dan Matematik SMJK Shantau. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, terlebih dahulu, marilah kita bersama-sama memanjatkan kesyukuran kita kehadrat Ilahi kerana dengan limpah dan kurnia, taufik dan keizinannya, kita dapat bersama-sama menjayakan perasmian Majlis Webinar STEM Siri kelima pada kali ini. STEM merupakan singkatan kepada bidang sains, teknologi, engineering dan matematik. Istilah ini biasanya digunakan bagi menunjukkan dasar pendidikan dan pilihan kurikulum sekolah bagi meningkatkan daya saing dalam bidang pembangunan teknologi. Keperluan kepada STEM wujud apabila kehendak terhadap bidang kerja yang melibatkan STEM adalah jauh lebih tinggi berbanding dengan bidang lain. Sebagai contoh, di Amerika Syarikat misalnya, 80% bidang pekerjaan adalah melibatkan bidang STEM. Murid yang mengikuti PDP STEM mempunyai kemahiran berfikir aras tinggi, inovatif, berhema tinggi, berdikari, celik teknologi dan mampu mencipta dan boleh menyelesaikan masalah dan membuat keputusan. Maka untuk itu, pelajar perlu disediakan dengan bidang ini bagi membantu menyediakan lebih banyak sumber kerja kepada negara. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, maka bertepatan dengan keperluan ini, sekali lagi majlis webinar Siri 5 berjaya diadakan pada hari ini untuk ataupun objektifnya pertama memberi platform kepada murid untuk memimpin. Yang kedua, meningkatkan kolaboratif dalam kalangan pegawai di PPD, pentadbir, guru, ibu bapa dan murid-murid di daerah Kota Kinabalu. Bersesuaian dengan objektif ini juga, platform webinar berjaya menampilkan pembentang-pembentang cilik daripada beberapa buah sekolah seperti yang akan kita saksikan pada hari ini, SMJK Shantau selaku pelaksana webinar Siri 5, SRK Sacred Heart, SK Mutiara dan SK Pangkalan TLDM. Tahniah kepada para pembentang kerana menyokong aktiviti ini agar lebih banyak sumber kerja kepada negara dapat disediakan. Sidang hadirin sekalian, penglibatan murid dalam aktiviti STEM amatlah penting untuk meningkatkan minat dalam mata pelajaran STEM dan seterusnya menjadi inovator pada masa hadapan. Hal yang demikian kerana konsep pendidikan STEM memudahkan cara pembelajaran yang lebih menyeronokkan. Kita yakin murid dapat menghasilkan pelbagai inovasi, meningkatkan kreativiti dan menggalakkan murid untuk berfikiran dengan lebih luas. Hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, tanpa penglibatan pelbagai pihak, tidak mungkin majlis ini dapat dilaksanakan dengan sebaiknya. Jadi kesempatan ini, saya ingin merakamkan ucapan terima kasih kepada para pengetua, guru besar, guru-guru pembimbing kerana menyokong usaha KPM untuk memantapkan PDP STEM bagi menarik lebih ramai murid menceburi bidang STEM di peringkat sekolah. Semoga dengan usaha ini, kita dapat menghasilkan modal insan yang berpengetahuan dan berkemahiran STEM yang diperlukan untuk negara kekal berdaya saing dan dinamik di peringkat global. Saya juga tidak melupakan ibu bapa murid-murid kerana memberikan sokongan yang padu kepada anak-anak mereka sehingga berjaya melaksanakan perkongsian dalam webinar pada kali ini. Akhir kata dari saya, dengan lafaz Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya dengan ini merasmikan majlis webinar STEM is Fun from Students to Students Siri 5 pada petang ini. Sekian, terima kasih.
Thank you, Puan Tanya Haji Jaman, for that remarkable speech. Now, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to witness an out-of-this-world montage regarding this webinar. Over to you, technical team.
on an incredible montage put together by students Aduria Akila and Jezebel Yusini, and also Puan Rosiza binti Abdul Razak. Much praise to the media team. Now, without further ado, let us start this webinar, shall we? Baiklah, sebagai permulaan webinar ini, marilah kita menjemput adik Melville Kent Morris daripada SRK Sacred Heart dengan projeknya yang bertajuk Haiwan Imajinasi. Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih kepada rakan moderator. Selamat petang dan salam sejahtera saya ucapkan kepada warga maya yang saya hormati. Salam JPN Sabah, katakan tidak pada nombor 16 dan katakan ya pada 10 terbaik. Saya Melville Ken Morris dari kelas 6 beta, Sekolah SRK Sacred Heart Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Pada hari ini saya akan membentang projek STEM yaitu Haiwan Imajinasi Saya. Nama projek saya ialah Bumblebee. Apakah kelebihan Bumblebee ini? Jom kita lihat. Kelebihan Bumblebee yang pertama adalah mengurangkan sampah dengan kitar semula bahan yang boleh digunakan. Dan kelebihan Bumblebee yang kedua ialah menghasilkan pemikiran dan idea yang lebih kreatif. Bagaimana pula dengan alatan dan bahan yang saya gunakan? Jom kita lihat alatan dan bahan yang saya gunakan. Alatan yang saya gunakan ialah krayon, gam, gunting, pistol gam, pisau pemotong dan penanda pen. Bahan-bahan yang saya gunakan ialah botol pencuci pinggan yang telah digunakan, botol mineral kosong yang telah dipotong, penyedut minuman, sudu plastik terpakai, kertas warna dan kotak telur. Mari kita lihat langkah-langkah untuk menyiapkan projek ini. Terdapat 6 langkah. Langkah pertama adalah proses memotong. Dalam proses ini, saya memotong pada bahagian tepi bekas botol pencuci pinggan untuk memasang sayap. Langkah kedua adalah saya memasang sayap yang saya sudah potong daripada botol mineral kosong. Langkah ketiga ialah proses melekatkan penyedut minuman sebagai lidah. Dalam proses ini, saya melekatkan penyedut minuman pada bahagian penutup botol pencuci pinggan. Langkah keempat ialah proses semasam mewarnakan badan. Saya mewarnakan badan dengan menggunakan krayon. Langkah yang terakhir pula ialah proses melukis mata. Saya melekatkan sudu plastik dan membentuk mata. Gambar yang terakhir ini adalah hasil projek haiwan imajinasi saya yang sudah siap sepenuhnya. Antara cabaran yang saya hadapi adalah saya menghadapi masalah untuk mencari pelbagai sumber rujukan untuk mereka cipta projek saya. Tambahan pula, saya tiada asas dalam mereka bentuk projek. Saya terpaksa meneliti setiap bentuk untuk menghasilkan projek tersebut. Harapan saya kepada projek tersebut adalah untuk memberi kesedaran orang ramai tentang pentingnya jaga alam sekitar dengan kempen kita semula hasil bahan buangan dan menggalakkan lebih ramai kawan-kawan yang berfikiran lebih kreatif dengan mereka cipta. Kenapa saya mahu mencipta projek ini? Saya mahu mencipta projek ini untuk memberi kesedaran kepada masyarakat mengenai kepentingan menjaga alam sekitar dan bagi mengurangkan bahan buangan untuk membabitkan kegunaan semula bagi menghasilkan bahan lain. Ini adalah gambar projek yang saya hasilkan. Pada bahagian mata, saya menggunakan sudu plastik terpakai. Pada bahagian sengatnya pula, saya menggunakan kotak telur. Badannya pula, saya menggunakan botol pencuci pinggan yang telah digunakan. Pada bahagian kaki pula, saya menggunakan kotak dan sayap pula, saya menggunakan botol mineral kosong yang telah dipotong. Dan yang terakhir iaitu pada bahagian lidah pula, saya menggunakan penyedut minuman. Seterusnya adalah kos. Gam berharga Rm2, krayon pula berharga Rm3.15. Pistol gam berharga Rm4.90. Seterusnya pisau pemotong yang berharga Rm4.10. Dan yang terakhir ialah penanda pen yang berharga Rm2.67. Kos lebih kurang Rm16.82 sahaja. Mesti anda mahu tahu apa pengalaman saya semasa menyiapkan projek ini. Sepanjang menyiapkan tugasan ini, pelbagai pengalaman dan pengetahuan yang saya perolehi. Sebagai contoh, saya dapat mencipta haiwan imajinasi saya dengan menggunakan bahan terpakai. Sebelum saya mengakhiri pembentangan saya pada hari ini, saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kerana memberi peluang saya menyertai tugasan STEM webinar ini. Sekian dan terima kasih. Sikit kejayaan. Saya serahkan kembali kepada rakan moderator.
Terima kasih kepada Adik Melville atas pembentangannya yang sungguh menarik itu. Semoga karya Adik Melville dapat menginspirasikan kita untuk lebih kreatif dalam menghasilkan karya diri sendiri.
Hadirin dan hadirat sekalian, sesi soal jawab telah pun dibuka. Para hadirin dialu-alukan untuk mengemukakan sebarang soalan kepada pembentang. Okey, saya ingin bertanya kepada Adik Melville. Apakah faktor yang memberikan anda idea untuk membina Bumblebee?
Terima kasih kerana mengajukan soalan tersebut. Saya mendapat idea ini daripada pembuangan sampah merata-rata disebabkan oleh sikap kurang prihatin yang menyebabkan kesan pembuangan sampah merata-rata.
Thank you Adik Melville. Nampaknya belum lagi ada soalan. Saya juga ingin bertanya, apakah ciri-ciri yang ada pada Bumblebee untuk melindungi dirinya?
Terima kasih juga kerana mengajukan soalan tersebut. Bumblebee ini mempunyai sengat yang berbisa untuk melindungi dirinya dari musuh. Badannya yang berbelang-belang memudahkan Bumblebee menyamar bagi mengelirukan musuh. Saya pula membantu Bumblebee bergerak dengan lebih cepat dan pantas.
Wow, jawapan yang amat baik daripada Adik Melville. Okey, nampaknya masih lagi belum ada sebarang persoalan daripada komen. Okey, kalau begitu saya lepaskan kamu, Adik Melville. Sekali lagi saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Adik Melville atas pembentangannya yang sungguh menarik itu.
Before we move on, we would like to remind the audience that e-certificates will be handed out at the end of this webinar. So be sure to stick to the end. And don't forget to fill in the attendance form, which will be given in the description box or in the chat box. Now, moving on, we would like to invite our second presenter from SRK Sacred Heart, Akif Haikal Hakim bin Sabran from Class 6 Alpha. He will also be presenting his model of their project, My Imaginary Animal. Please give a round of applause to Adi Akif Haikal.
Hello, my name is Akif Haikal Hakim. I'm 12 years old and currently studying at SRK Sekolah Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Greetings to JP and Sabah. Say no to number 16 and say yes to the best 10. Believing and doing good deeds is my school motto. Today, I would like to present my project, Designing an Imaginary Animal Model. With the help of my parents, siblings, and teachers, I've managed to create and design an animal named Cryptozilla. Cryptozilla is made out of waste. Cryptozilla is made out of waste on this planet. My, object, my objective for this project is to help reduce the waste on this planet. The materials that I use for this project are a shower bottle that has a nozzle, colored paper, hot paper, marker pen, decorative wires, felt card, wallpaper, and double-sided tape. With this method, I can save up more money. The process of making Cryptozilla. First, clean the used shower bottle and dry it. Cut the colored paper and wrap it around to make it look like scales. Cut the hard paper to make the hands and feet. Make wings and earlobes using felt cord. Make 2 holes to the nozzle. On top of the bottle cover, make 4 holes to fit the decorative wires as tentacles and stick brown black paper for eyes on both sides of the decorative wires. Wrap the back of the bottle with wallpaper. Lastly, color the hands, feet, and upper body using the marker pen. The challenges that I faced in the making of Cryptozilla are: I had to do some research from the internet for the characteristic features of said animal on how to protect itself from enemy threats such as large earlobes so that more heat is released, sharp and bright eyes to see, a nose that is very sensitive to odors, a nozzle that emits toxic gas to kill the enemy, a fat layer under the skin to retain heat in very cold weather, and many others. My hopes are to make people aware of the importance of caring for the environment with waste recycling campaigns, and encourage more creative-minded friends with their creation. That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you to Akif for his take on an imaginary animal. Can I just say that as a 17-year-old, I don't think I have the same creativity to come up with something as creative as Godzilla.
Same. Not only does it look cool, I'm sure it also took quite the effort to create the model for it. Well done, Akif. Okay, now to anyone who has any questions, the Q&A session is now open. Just drop your questions in the chat box below, and we will try our best to inform Adi Akif about your questions.
Okay, first off, Akif, I have to ask you, what challenges have you faced throughout making this project?
I had to research the characteristic features on the animal model.
Okay, got it. Well, Les, do you have any questions for him while we wait for questions in the chat box?
Yeah, I do have a question actually. I'm very curious to know what are the benefits of this project to our environment.
It can reduce the waste on the environment.
Thank you for that straightforward answer, Akif. It looks like we have a question from Val Rosario Alfante. I'm sorry if I read that wrong. She asked if what in your opinion, what do you think we can do as students to mengurangkan sampah?
To reduce the waste,
Yeah, to reduce
Yes.
waste. Thank you.
you can make like toys and stuff like that and recycle the things.
Yeah, that's correct. That's true. Thank you, Akif, for that answer. It looks like we don't have any more questions from the audience. Now,
Okay, well done to both Adi Akif and Melville and their respective teacher advisors, Encik Muhammad Nazri Kamarudin and Puan Putri Binti Lope. We hope their works have inspired everyone attending this webinar to become more creative in their respective crafts.
before we proceed to the next group, I would like to welcome everyone just tuning in with us. Hello. Reminder that the attendance form is linked in the chat box or description box below. So be sure to fill that out first.
Right then, without wasting any more time, let us proceed to our next two presentations. For your information, both presenters are from SK Mutiara, and both projects, in my opinion, have very interesting titles. Our next presentation is from Zoe Charanga, who has worked on a project titled Superfruit. That title definitely has me hooked.
Well then, let us proceed with her presentation. Zoe, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Les and Ethan. Good afternoon, dear moderators, teachers, and friends. My name is Zoe Charanga Anna Agustus. I'm from SK Mutiara Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Today, I would like to present my science project 2. The title for my science project is Superfood. This is the problem statement. I'm sorry. Wait, let me give some.
It looks like we are experiencing slight technical issues.
Yeah,
Please
sorry.
take your time, Zoe. It's okay.
Okay,
It's
sorry.
okay.
May I ask, can you see my presentation?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. I'm sorry. Well, thank you, Ethan and Les. And well, hello. Good afternoon, dear moderators, teachers, and friends. My name is Zoe Charanga Anna Agustus. I'm from SK Mutiara Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Today, I would like to present my science project 2. The title for my science project is Superfood. This is the problem statement. At the moment, the percentage of symptomatic cases through sporadic COVID-19 infection is increasing in Malaysia. One of the steps that we need to take seriously, which is to take nutritious food that can boost the body's immune system. For example, vitamins play a role in keeping immune cells functioning properly. The types of vitamins needed are A, C, E, and B complex. My teacher asked me to find what food is high in vitamin A. I also need reasons to support my food choice. Describe the specific characteristic of my food choice. Finally, I need to share my findings to my family and friends. Do you know what fruit did I choose? If you want to know, please stay tuned. The objectives of this project are to introduce and create awareness about cat food. The increase of awareness about cat food and its benefits will boost the consumption. With the increase of this consumption, cat food can be planted commercially and indirectly it will help to increase the country's economic source. So next, this IT map contains characteristics and benefits about cat food. Cat food is usually round or oblong. The fruit is so rare and it's only available for few months. It changes color from green to red when it's finally ripe. The fruit has small spikes on skin. The size of the fruit is about 13 cm length and 10 cm diameter. The weight of the fruit is pretty light. It is around 0.5 to 1.5 kilogram. And this eating map contains benefits about the fruit. Cat fruit is rich in vitamin A. It can boost our body immune system. Vitamin A in the food can prevent us from any disease, even COVID-19. The seeds, pulp, and peel are said to have medical properties. The fruit is rich in beta-carotene up to 10 times more than corn. and it also contains 70 times more lycopene than tomatoes. These are some readings that I did about jackfruit. According to a group of researchers as mentioned above, jackfruit is associated with many beneficial bioactivities, such as antioxidant, anti-cancer, and pro-vitamin A activities. While another group of researchers, as mentioned above, vitamin A is known as an anti-inflammation vitamin because of its critical role in enhancing immune function. Okay. Other than that, I did a survey about cat food using Google Form among family, friends, and teachers. I found out about 84% of them did not know about cat food. And yes, you can see it from this graph. So, I came out with an idea by making pamphlet using Canva application to promote about this cat food. After I shared the pamphlet, I did another survey to find out whether the pamphlet improved their understanding about cat food. This is what my digital pamphlet looks like. At first, I didn't know how to use the Canva app to create a digital pamphlet. I also have problems when designing it. But thanks to my teacher for teaching me how to use the Canva app to create my digital pamphlet. So, this digital pamphlet has helped my teachers, friends, and family to understand better. Since I need to share my findings to my friends, I did a presentation in class. Let's watch the video.
Good morning, teachers and friends. Today, I would like to present about the simple COVID-19 infection is increasing in Malaysia. One of the steps that we need to take seriously, which is the nutritious food that can boost the body's immune system. For example, vitamins play a role in keeping the immune system functioning properly. The types of vitamins needed are A, C, E, and B complex. This is my pamphlet design. So at first, I didn't know how to make a pamphlet using Canva app. So it's all thanks to my teacher teaching me to make this pamphlet. So this is the picture of the jackfruit. Jackfruit is a type of fruit that comes from Vietnam. Its size is about 30 centimeter length and 10 centimeter diameter. The weight of the fruit is around 0.5 to 1.5 kilograms. Jackfruit in this color from green to yellow, then orange, and finally red when it can be harvested. The jackfruit takes about 8 months to grow. Traditionally, the jackfruit is used as medicine. The seeds, pulp, and peel are said to have medical properties. Jackfruit can boost our immune system and make our body more resilient to some disease, even COVID-19. The reason I pick this food is because it can boost our immune system and prevent us from any disease like COVID-19. At our school, there is a small garden for the jackfruit. That's all for my presentation today, and thank you. Okay, that's all for the video, and let's move on to the next slide. In conclusion, we need to encourage our society to consume jackfruit or its product because it is rich with vitamin A and it can help to boost immune system, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. That's all for my presentation today, and thank you for listening. Wow, Zoe, your presentation was very interesting. I never knew this fruit existed until now.
Yeah, me neither. After seeing so much of its benefits, I'm
Thank you.
definitely very much interested in learning more about cat food.
Thank
Okay,
you.
looking at the chat box right now. We have a question from teacher Rosario Val from SK Mutiara. The question is, What else can we do to strengthen the immune system besides taking vitamins?
In my opinion, maybe you can take this cat food because it is rich in vitamin A instead of taking vitamins.
That's true. That's a very good answer, Zoe. Thank you. I see another question from Agusta Kisol. She asked if doing this project, who are the people who helped you?
Oh, my teacher, friends, and my parents, they helped me during this project.
Yeah, it seems that they are your number one supporters in your project.
Yeah, true.
Um,
Okay, I myself have a question for Zoe. I would like to ask, what have you learned after doing this project?
I got to learn about cat food, the benefits, and the characteristic. Other than that, I got to learn how to use the Canva app to create my pet digital pamphlet. I also got to learn how to use the Google form to create my survey.
Wow, I'm sure those experiences will help you more in the future.
Thank you.
Les, do you have any questions?
yes, I do. I have a question of my own. How did you feel while carrying out this project?
I feel happy and thankful that I was given this opportunity to enjoy this activity.
That's a great answer from you, Zoe.
Thank you.
you. Okay, looking at the chat box, it looks like there aren't any more questions regarding the Superfood project.
Yeah, so I guess we'll let you go, Zoe. Thank you to the
Okay.
teacher advisor, Puan Shimset Moy, for helping to guide this project, and thank you to Adi Zoe for sharing your project and experiences with us.
Okay. Bye. Have a nice day.
Okay, thank you,
You too,
Zoe.
Zoe.
To proceed with this event, I would like to welcome our next presenter, Shiny Nicole Stanley from SK Mutiara, to present her project called Abstract Card. I don't know about you, but the title of the project already puts me at the edge of my seat.
Now, Les, don't get too excited. Let's hear from Shani first. Shani, I hand over the mic to you.
Thank you, Les and Ethan, as our moderators for today. Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to our Honorable District Education Officer, Madam Tanya Jaman, respectable organizing committees, beloved teachers and friends. My name is Shani Nicole Stanley. I am from SK Mutiara, Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. Today, I'm going to share about my learning invention that will help students in solving addition or fraction using my abstract card. This is the problem statement that helps me to create the idea of abstract card. Learning math can be quite difficult sometimes, especially fraction for primary school students. It is even more challenging when it involves solving fraction with operations. Can there be a way to make learning easier for solving addition of fractions? What is the learning tool that can be used to help in solving addition of fractions? Before creating the abstract card, these are the few questions that I asked myself. What are the steps for solving addition of fractions? How can I make it easier to solve problems with addition of fractions? What can I do to help others to solve addition of fraction with mixed numbers? Are the steps for addition of fractions? Some students find it hard to get the smallest common denominator. We must have a good memory of multiplications. By listing the multiplications of the denominators will help them find it easier. After doing some thinking and analyzing, I have come up with the idea of abstract card that can be used to help others in solving additions of fractions easier. As you can see here, it consists of a laminated A4 paper, printed with a table, a whiteboard marker pen, and a whiteboard duster. It is quite a simple set of learning tools. This is how the abstract card looks like. It is designed in table form with two main columns labeled whole numbers and fractions. At the side of it, there are 10 smaller columns labeled to show the multiplication steps. The top is the space where we write our question, and at the bottom is where we write our finalized solution. Let's watch a short video on how to use this abstract card. Let me show you how to add the fraction using the abstract card. Firstly, write the question in this column. Secondly, identify the whole number in the question and add the whole number in this column. Then, add all the fractions in this column. Use times table to get the smallest common denominator before adding the fraction. Build 5 and 3 times table in the table provided. The smallest common denominator is 15. Five times 3 to get 15. 1 also times 3. 3 times 5 to get 15. 1 also times 5. Then add the fraction. Finally, add whole number with fraction. Eight plus 8 over 15. The answer is 8 and 8 over 15. It is the simplest form. That is how I demonstrate the use of this card to add the fraction of different denominators. The effort card is the link tool they have invented to participate in the IMF for You competition last year. I was suggested by my teacher to test my invention with other students to see whether it is effective in helping them learn how to add fraction with different denominators. I was given a chance to teach and test my products with some students from 5 December. They are my target group who are having difficulties solving fraction problems. I carried out my experiment by teaching them how to use the effect card in class. These are the photos which shows the process of testing the effect card with students from 5 December. I spent time explaining to them the method of using abstract card. Then, they were given a set of questions to answer using the abstract card. They were also given a questionnaire to fill regarding the abstract card. After testing the abstract card, these are my results and findings. Students find it easy to follow and news for answering the given questions. Students were able to answer all the questions correctly. Students gave positive feedback in a questionnaire regarding the use of AdFrag card. In conclusion, I'm happy that AdFrag card can help students to improve their skill in answering addition or fraction questions. It's easy to make, easy to use, convenient, and effective. But we must remember that it is a tool which we use to help us in learning easier. We must still do lots of practice in math, as practice makes perfect. That's all from me. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you to Shani for sharing that ingenious innovation with us here today. I was greatly impressed by your creativity to come up with such a brilliant model. This is definitely going to be handy to other students that struggle with adding up their fractions out there. Before we move on to the Q&A session, uh, for the previous for the previous presentation, teacher Rosario says exercising should be in the option in strengthening the immune system besides taking vitamins and eating healthily. Yes, I very much agree. Thank you, teacher Rosario, for this suggestion. Okay, Les.
Um, Shiny, I just want to say again, that was a great presentation from you.
I'm glad
I
to
feel
hear
like,
that from you, Liz.
yeah, I feel like the way you created your invention was very helpful to students because it breaks down a bigger problem to little problems that we can easily solve. Now, the moment you all have been waiting for is here. It is time to open the floor for the Q&A session. Please don't hesitate to drop us a question below. Shani, if you don't mind me asking, how long did you take to come up with the idea of abstract art?
Well, Liz, I took about 2 days of thinking, and under the guidance of my teacher, I finally came up with this idea of abstract card.
Wow, it's incredible that you managed to do this in such a short amount of time.
Okay, now looking at the chat box, we have a question from Amira Izati Zulizi. The question goes, how can you make yourself become more interested in maths?
Um, to be interested in math, we must need to love solving puzzles. When we are able to solve the problems, we'll feel great and satisfied.
Yes, I very much agree.
Yes, thank you so much.
Personally, when I come up with very hard differentiation equations in calculus, when I finally solve, I feel so satisfied and so proud of myself after doing it.
That is very true. I agree with Ethan right there.
Okay, there's another question in the chat box. It's from Teacher Val Rosario. Uh, well done, Shani. Can you give an example using fraction in real life situation?
We can use fraction when we're dividing pieces of cakes to our friends or when we're dividing area of papers to other certain art and crafts.
Thank you, Shiny, for that wonderful answer. Ethan, do you have a question for Shiny while we wait for other questions from the
Uh,
audience?
yes, I have one question. Shani, your friends must have already tried your alphabet card as seen from your presentation, and I'm sure they've been able to solve it really well. Now, I have to ask, how do you feel when your friends were able to use your invention to easily solve maths questions?
I feel proud and happy, Ethan, that my effort card was able to help them solve the addition or fraction problems like these.
I'm glad to know that. And also, I'm glad to know that they all have a positive reaction to it. Their reviews make me want an AdFrag card myself.
Count me in two, please. Don't leave me out. Okay. Um, Once more, we would like to give our thanks to Adi Shiny and also her teacher advisor, Madam Akchi, for preparing this insightful presentation for us. Putting all that
Thank you,
aside,
Liz. Thank you, Ethan. It's a pleasure to
okay.
be here with all of you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Shiny.
Bye.
Now, putting all that aside, allow me to remind you guys to fill in the attendance form in the chat box below. The attendance form will be open at 3 p.m., so please stick with us for a bit longer. Make sure to do it later before the webinar ends. Over to you, Ethan.
Terima kasih, Les. Baiklah, untuk tidak membuang masa lagi, majlis menjemput kedua-dua pelajar daripada SK Pangkalan TLDM untuk berkongsi projek mereka yang berkaitan dengan program Scratch. Pertama sekali, marilah kita mempersilakan adik Fatin Nazira Syariha binti Muhammad Syaiful untuk membentangkan projeknya yang bertajuk What is Scratch?
Marilah kita berikan tepukan yang gemuruh.
Yang berusaha Puan Tahniah Haji Jaman, Pegawai PPD Kota Kinabalu, pihak pengajur, semua guru besar dan pengetua, guru-guru dan rakan-rakan sekalian. Hai, Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Nama saya ialah Fatin Nazira Syahira binti Muhammad Syaiful dari Sekolah Kebangsaan Pangkalan TLDM Kota Kinabalu. Umur saya 12 tahun, saya dari kelas 6 Manukan dan guru pembimbing saya ialah Cikgu Aswati Jaafar. Rakan-rakan, saya akan menerangkan langkah-langkah untuk menggunakan aplikasi Scratch. Langkah pertama, kita perlu download atau muat turun aplikasi Scratch dari Google Play Store atau Google Chrome. Langkah kedua, kita perlu sign in atau log in di aplikasi Scratch. Cara-caranya adalah, pertama, tekan button join atau log in di aplikasi Scratch. Kemudian, masukkan username yang kita suka. Lalu, masukkan kata laluan atau password email. Kemudian, tekan button next, masukkan bulan, tahun kelahiran, pilih jantina dan kemudian negara. Setelah selesai login, kita akan tekan button create untuk memulakan projek. Rakan-rakan sekalian, sekarang saya akan terangkan apa fitur-fitur yang terdapat pada halaman ini. Kod adalah alat-alatan yang digunakan untuk membuat pengaturcaraan. Costumes berfungsi untuk mengedit atau melukis sesuatu. Dan sound berfungsi untuk mengedit, menambah atau merakam rakaman suara. Sprite adalah karakter ataupun watak utama yang akan kita gunakan. X bermaksud jarak jauh sprite dan manakala Y menunjukkan ketinggian sprite. Size berfungsi untuk membesarkan atau mengecilkan size sprite. Direction berfungsi untuk menunjukkan arah sprite. Manakala backdrops adalah background ataupun latar belakang. Kod terbahagi kepada 9 alatan, iaitu yang pertama, motion, yang kedua, looks, ketiga, sound, keempat, events, kelima, control, keenam, sensing, ketujuh, operators, ke-8, variables dan yang terakhir ke-9, my blocks. Rakan-rakan sekalian, seterusnya saya akan menerangkan fitur-fitur 9 alatan tadi. Fungsi motion adalah untuk menggerakkan sprite. Looks berfungsi untuk membuat sprite bertutur dan menukar latar belakang. Fungsi sound adalah untuk menambahkan bunyi kepada sprite. Events berfungsi untuk memulakan sesuatu pergerakan. Control pula berfungsi untuk meneruskan atau mengulang sesuatu pergerakan. Sensing berfungsi untuk menentukan sesuatu pengaturcaraan. Operators berfungsi untuk menggabungkan sesuatu. Variables pula berfungsi untuk membuat skor dan my blocks pula berfungsi untuk membuat blok untuk sprite. Baiklah rakan-rakan sekalian, sekarang saya akan tunjukkan hasil projek game Scratch saya iaitu Jumping Frog. Rakan-rakan sekalian, ini adalah hasil projek Jumping Frog saya. Ini adalah script area yang akan kita gunakan untuk meletak blok. Kita akan menggunakan tools untuk membuat blok. Kita akan tarik blok yang hendak kita gunakan ke script area. Ini adalah contoh blok yang telah selesai dihasilkan. Saya menggunakan dua jenis sprite, iaitu frog dan ladybug. Saya juga menggunakan backdrops forest. Seterusnya adalah cara untuk main. Kita perlu menekan button green flag untuk memulakan permainan. Katak perlu melompat di atas ladybug untuk mendapatkan skor. Jika katak berjaya untuk melompat di atas ladybug dan tidak terkena kepada ladybug, maka permainan akan diteruskan dan kita akan mendapat skor. Manakala, jika katak terkena pada ladybug, maka permainan tamat. Itu saja daripada saya. Terima kasih kepada guru pembimbing saya, iaitu Cikgu Aswati Jaafar dan semua guru RBT yang bersama saya. Sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih kepada adik Fatin untuk pembentangannya yang amatlah membuka minda. Kepada mereka yang baru saja menyertai webinar kami ini, jangan lupa mengisi link kehadiran dalam chat box di bawah.
Baiklah, seperti biasa, saya ingin membuka sesi soal jawab kepada pendengar. Walaupun terdapat sedikit isu teknikal di pembentaran adik Fatin tadi, saya rasa masih sangat menarik nampak program Scratch itu. Saya mempunyai satu soalan untuk adik Fatin. Mengapakah kita perlu mempelajari Scratch?
Kita perlu mempelajari Scratch kerana Scratch adalah bahasa pengaturcaraan yang paling asas sebelum menguasai bahasa pengaturcaraan yang lebih mendalam seperti C++ dan sebagainya. Scratch juga mengajar kita untuk mencukil kreativiti dalam menyelesaikan masalah.
Oh, begitu pula. Okey, memandangkan masih belum ada soalan daripada para hadirin, saya ingin bertanya, apakah kelebihan Scratch pada zaman kini?
Kelebihan Scratch adalah kita boleh mempelajari coding dan langkah-langkah awal untuk membuat game, cerita dan animasi yang menarik.
Terima kasih banyak-banyak atas jawapan adik Fatin yang sungguh bijak itu. Kita tak ada merasa program Scratch ini sangat menarik kita.
Ya, program ini sangat menarik. Pada pendapat saya, program Scratch ini adalah pengenalan yang baik kepada murid yang ingin belajar coding. Okey, sekarang di chat box ada satu soalan dari Cikgu Val Rosario juga. Berapa skor tertinggi yang Fatin dapat dalam permainan ini?
Boleh ulang soalan?
Boleh. Daripada Cikgu Val Rosario, berapa skor tertinggi yang Fatin dapat dalam permainan ini? Nampaknya ada sedikit isu-isu teknikal.
Sambil kita menunggu adik Fatin, saya ingin memberitahukan bahawa attendance form telah di dalam
So sorry, I was experiencing a bit lag just now. Okay, while we wait for adik Fatin, Les, do you remember when we were in primary school?
Yes. What about it? Fatin's back. Hi Fatin.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Fatin, seperti biasa itu soalan tadi.
Skor tertinggi yang skor tertinggi yang saya pernah dapat semasa main game ni adalah 20 ke atas. Dan game ini memang mudah untuk dimain dan paling senang bagi asas sekolah rendah dan ke bawah. Dan sekolah menengah juga boleh mempelajari dan main game ni secara percuma dan boleh didapati di Scratch.
Begitu rupanya. Okey, sekarang melihat chat box, tiada lagi sebarang pertanyaan. Nampaknya sesi pembentangan Adik Fatin telah tamat. Sekali lagi saya ingin mengucapkan beribu-ribu terima kasih kepada Adik Fatin dan guru pembimbingnya Puan Aswati Jafar. Terima kasih Fatin.
Thank you, Fatin, for that wonderful presentation. Before we move ahead, I would like to say that the attendance form, the link to the attendance form is now open, and the audience, you may now fill in your attendance to get your e-certificates for today's webinar.
Bagi meneruskan webinar ini, saya akan menyerahkan mic kepada pembentang seterusnya, yaitu Ikhwan Azhad bin Adi Risman, juga daripada SK Pangkalan TLDM. Projek Adik Ikhwan yang bertajuk Scratch A New World Digital Learning juga berdasarkan program Scratch. Baiklah Adik Ikhwan, dipersilakan.
Hello dan assalamualaikum semua. Saya Ikhwan Azhad bin Adi Risman. Saya berumur 12 tahun dari kelas 6 Manukan di Sekolah Kebangsaan Pangkalan TLDM Kota Kinabalu. Tadi rakan kelas saya Fatin menerangkan berkaitan tentang Scratch. Sekarang saya akan berkongsi dengan rakan-rakan contoh game yang saya buat daripada Scratch, iaitu Pass the Ball. Baiklah rakan-rakan, ini adalah game saya, iaitu Pass the Ball. Rakan-rakan nampak kan? Baiklah, dalam game ini ada 3 sprite dan 1 backdrop. Ini. Baiklah, saya akan bermula dengan bola. Ini, okey. Mula-mula saya ambil event dan ambil when green flag click. Benda ni sangat penting. Diibarat tekan play lah. Diibarat. Kalau contoh ambil yang ni, Eddie, terus tekan mana-mana butang kat keyboard, terus pop. Ingatkan dah rosak, tapi bukan. Gitu. Itu yang pentingnya. Kemudian saya pergi ke motion dan ambil turn sama right. Saya main ambil saja. Rakan-rakan boleh pilih kiri ke, kanan ke, mana-mana rakan nak. Jadi, saya ambil ini dan letakkannya di sini. Okey. Saya ambil 45 darjah. Degrees. Darjah Celsius. Darjah maksud saya salah sebut. Kemudian saya pergi variable dan make a variable dan namakannya score. Saya tulislah, jadi kemudian saya okeykan. Lepas tu saya ambil set score tu 0. Maksudnya bila dah bermula permainan, dia terus 0 macam ni. Nampak? Okey. Begitulah saya buat. Kemudian saya pergi ke motion balik dan ambil, kita nak ada dekat tengah-tengah kan. Jadi kita mestinya go to X 0 dan Y 0 begini. Terus pop di tengah-tengah tu. Nampak cepat bukan tengah-tengah, tapi sebenarnya ya. Okeylah. Kemudian saya nak beri permain bersedia. Jadi saya ambil wait 1 second. Dia kata tunggu sekejap 1 second. Lepas tu pop baru mula. Begitu. Kemudian saya pergi ambil forever dan letak dalam forever if 2 kali. Saya pergi motion dan ambil if on edge bounce. Maksudnya bila langgar dinding sini, mana-mana, dia akan melantun je. Begitu. Kemudian saya pergi move 10 step. Rakan-rakan boleh pilih move 5 step ke, lagi tinggi ke, lagi perlahan ke, dia akan jadi cepat sikit lah. Kemudian saya pergi sensei dan ambil touching. Touching ni boleh touching mouse pointer, edge ataupun mana-mana sprite kat dalam ni. Begitulah. Ambil touching untuk touching you. You tu adalah pemain. Ni lah. Lepas tu saya buat change score by 1 dekat bawah dia bila langgar ni. Maksudnya kita dapat halang bola tu daripada kena langgar belakang dia. Okey. Kemudian kita nak dipantul balik. Jadi saya ambil kanan jugalah. Saya main ambil saja 180 degrees. Maksudnya dia akan pop, patah balik. Begitu. Rakan-rakan boleh juga pilih contoh 90 ke begitulah. Okay. Kemudian saya pergi sensei dan touching line. Line tu garisan ni. Maksudnya game over lah. Touching line, stop all. Stop all tu saya ambil dekat control. Sini. Rakan-rakan boleh pula apa stop, describe ke ataupun describe in describe ke, mana-mana lah. Okay, kemudian kostum dia pula. Saya buat bentuk bola lah sebab ni game bola. Jadi saya buat bentuk bola. Baiklah, itu sahaja daripada saya. Terima kasih kepada guru pembimbing saya iaitu Cikgu Edrim dan guru RBT yang bersama dengan saya. Saya tidak lupa juga semua rakan-rakan yang ada pada petang ini. Bye. Sekian, terima kasih.
Terbaiklah pembentangan adik Ikhwan. Saya suka dengan cara adik Ikhwan membuat perkongsian sangat menarik. Adik mesti popular dan disayangi oleh guru-guru di sekolah pangkalan TLDM kan?
Ya, permainan yang dihasilkan adik Ikhwan menggunakan program Scratch itu nampak seronok sekali. Sekarang seperti biasa, sesi soal jawab sudah pun dibuka. Les, adakah anda mempunyai sebarang soalan bagi adik Ikhwan?
Terima kasih Ethan. Saya ada satu soalan. Apakah yang membuatkan anda berminat dengan Scratch, Ikhwan?
Boleh tak ulang semula soalan? Tak dengar jelas.
Okey. Apakah yang membuatkan anda berminat dengan Scratch?
Benda yang membuatkan saya minat dengan Scratch adalah kerana ia membolehkan kita buat game, animasi, cerita ke apa ke, banyaklah. Dan kita juga boleh main game orang lain.
Oh, begitu rupanya. Buat sekarang, saya belum lagi nampak ada sebarang soalan dari chat box. Saya mempunyai soalan daripada diri saya sendiri. Adik Ikhwan, bagaimanakah permainan yang anda hasilkan membantu dalam pembelajaran anda?
Game yang saya hasilkan, permainan yang saya hasilkan dapat membantu dalam pelajaran bahasa Inggeris dan matematik. Contohnya, saya dapat tahu perkataan baru kerana Scratch ini menggunakan bahasa Inggeris dan matematik pula. Kedudukan X dan Y pula saya dapat belajar yang atas tu bukan negatif dan bawah tu negatif. Dan Y pula maafkan saya. X tu kanan bukan negatif. Lepas tu kalau negatif pula ke kiri. Lepas tu kalau Y, kalau bukan negatif dia ke atas. Kalau ada negatif dia ke bawah.
Oh, begitu pula. Saya ada nampak satu soalan daripada Cikgu Agusta. Dia menanya, di manakah adik Ikhwan melihat diri adik dengan game ini di masa akan datang?
Maafkan saya, sila ulang soalan tu ataupun diri adik dengan game ini. Diri adik dengan...
It's okay, take your time, adik Ikhwan.
Saya tidak dapat lagi bayangan diri saya dengan game ini pada masa hadapan. Tapi saya akan usaha untuk mendapat banyak tontonan game ini dan follow dan favorite game dan ada orang like game ni.
Okay, thank you Adik Ikhwan. Saya nampak satu lagi soalan daripada para hadirin. Would you mind to read it?
Yes. Okay, daripada Cikgu Bal Rosario lagi. Terima kasih Cikgu Bal Rosario. Cikgu menanya, di mana teacher boleh dapatkan game ini? Mau try jugalah, kasih pecah rekod Fatin.
Game ini cikgu pergi kat Scratch, kemudian cikgu type Unramen, kemudian pergi profile saya lah. Lepas tu tengok share the project. Nanti sekarang dia akan tunjuk semua projek yang saya dah share. Itu cikgu akan nampak pass the ball lah sekali.
Okay, terima kasih Adik Ikhwan. Okay, satu lagi soalan daripada username Agusta Kisol juga. Okay. Adakah adik akan menjadi pencipta game terkenal?
InsyaAllah saya akan menjadi pencipta game terkenal sebab saya sangat suka membuat game. Saya sedang usaha membuat game yang sukar dan best. Jadi saya juga akan keluar game best pada April ini. Tapi kalau saya tidak dapat share projek ni, game ni, mungkin bulan depan dah sebab kadang-kadang mungkin saya tak sempat lah nak buat.
Terima kasih Ikhwan kerana telah memberi pembentangan yang amat menarik tadi. Thank you for menjawab soalan-soalan daripada para hadirin. Ethan, I pass the mic to you.
Jelaslah kedua-dua adik daripada sekolah SK Pangkalan TLDM itu amatlah celik dalam bidang programming. Kami berharap pelajar yang sedang mengambil aliran sains komputer atau pelajar yang berminat untuk mengambil aliran tersebut mendapat motivasi daripada pembentangan adik Fatin dan adik Ikhwan. Sekali lagi terima kasih banyak kepada adik Ikhwan. Okay, right then, moving on to our next presentation. This presentation will be centered around the Malaysian Healthy Plate. It was inspired by students wanting to create healthy meals for people who want to stay fit.
Please give a warm welcome to our presenters from SMJK Shantau, Daphne Joy Wong and Grace Aliska Ginar.
Thank you, wonderful moderators, Les and Ethan. Hello, everybody, and a very good afternoon to everyone. Sabah, Hebat, say no to number 16 and say yes to the best 10. My name is Daphne, a Form 5 student studying in SMJK Shantau, alongside with my partner.
Hello everyone, my name is Grace and I'm from SMJK Shantau.
We'll be presenting about Malaysian healthy plate based on a diabetic patient. So let's get started. So here are the contents that we'll be going through together. Alright then, Malaysian healthy plate. I believe that most of you are familiar with this name. Malaysia government, or particularly the Nutrition Division of Ministry of Health Malaysia, is now improving Malaysian healthy plate after the number of increase of diseases such as diabetes and obesity. It is also a medium or an educational material which is used for delivering the concept of healthy eating among citizens of Malaysia. It also emphasizes on the quarter-half concept.
So, we decided to plan a Legend Healthy Plate which can be used as a guide for diabetic patients. First, let's get to know what is diabetes. Diabetes is a condition that occurs when our body produces insufficient amount of insulin or the body can use it as well as it should. When there isn't enough insulin in our body or the cells stop responding to insulin, too much blood sugar stays in our bloodstream, which will cause our blood glucose levels to increase. Consequently, this can cause serious health problems such as heart disease, vision loss, and kidney disease.
Now that we've known a diabetic patient will experience high blood glucose level, but what causes it to be high? And what role does vitamin D partake in? Well, vitamin D is used to maintain the normal release of insulin by the pancreas. Insulin produced by the pancreas is used to lower down blood glucose.
Oh, presenter Daphne, I think your mic is muted.
I'm sorry. Okay, back to it. Okay. Now that we've known a diabetic patient will experience high blood glucose level, but what causes it to be high? And what role does vitamin D partake in? Well, vitamin D is used to maintain the normal release of insulin by the pancreas. Insulin produced by the pancreas is used to lower the blood glucose level. By breaking down glucose into glycogen, glucose, also known as sugar, is what causes the blood glucose level to increase. And therefore, the absence or the insufficient production of insulin or an inability of the body to properly use insulin causes diabetes.
Next, do you know any symptoms of diabetes? Generally, some of the symptoms of diabetes include feeling thirsty, urinate a lot, losing weight without trying, and feeling very hungry. Next, they may also have a blurry vision, have numbness or tingling in their hands or feet, feeling very tired, have a dry skin, and sores or wounds that not healing or healing slowly.
There are many ways for us to avoid ourselves from getting diabetes. Besides exercising, we could also practice eating healthy meals. So here we have created a Malaysian healthy meals. So for protein, we have prepared beans, fish, and chicken as they are rich in protein as well as omega-3 fatty acids, which helps to provide energy as well as are good for heart health. Moving on to carbohydrates, we would encourage taking carbs that are high in fiber, such as brown rice, oats, and whole grains, as they help to control blood glucose level. Now for vegetables, it also have the same concept as carbohydrates. We would also encourage taking veg that are high in fiber, such as broccoli, carrots, and tomatoes, as they help to improve levels of healthy cholesterol as well as lowering blood pressure. Now, moving along to fruits, we would suggest taking fruits that are rich in vitamin D, such as berries, apples, and kiwis, as they help to slow down digestion as well as help to prevent blood sugar spikes.
Well, now that we discussed on what our healthy meal should be consist of, let's take a look on a video we've made on how to prepare a Malaysian healthy plate curated especially for diabetic patients. Without further ado, let's watch it together. For breakfast, we use ingredients like oatmeal, low-fat milk, oranges, and apples.
So for lunch, the first option, I have made a lemon chicken, which mostly consists of lemon juice and chicken. So here are the steps that I have created. So here I have prepared a tin foil and I will wrap chicken inside of it to bake it instead, since if we were to use oil, it will be very unhealthy. We've also put some garlic and onions to improve the taste for our chicken. And here is the results.
While for second option for lunch, we use mustard green, garlic, potato, banana, and fish. We steam the fish instead of frying it to reduce the intake of fat in our body.
And fish are also rich in omega-3 fatty acid, which is good for heart health.
And next, for our first option for dinner, we use simple ingredients such as napa cabbage, eggs, and garlic.
So for dinner, the second option, I have created a stir-fry long bean and eggs, which mostly consists of long beans and eggs. So here are the steps that I have prepared. And you can see here that I have cut the long bean into smaller pieces so that it's easier for us to consume. And here we use a little oil, but then we use olive oil, which is much more better than your average cooking oil at home. And we'll just have to stir fry it until it's done. We've also added salt and peppers for taste. And we are done. Okay, moving along to the next slide. So here are the costs that we have used to prepare the meal that was shown in the video just now. For breakfast, we have a total of 21 ringgit and 50 cent. Moving on to lunch, for the first option, we have a sum total of 7 ringgit and 90 cent and 27 ringgit for the second option. Moving along to dinner, we have a total of 4 ringgit and 30 cent for the first option, as well as 2 ringgit and 20 cent for the second option.
And as you can see on the slide, these are a few pictures and screenshots that we took during our discussion on finishing the project together as a team.
And here are some of the references that we have made to complete our project.
And that is all from both of us. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope everyone can get benefits from it.
All right, thank you to Grace and Daphne for that wonderful presentation. The food they prepared look really simple yet nutritious. What do you think, Ethan?
Personally, I find it really cool that they make not one, not two, but three videos. No, not three, sorry, four videos to show us how to prepare a healthy Malaysian plate. Now, as always, I would like to open the floor to anybody looking at the comments right now. Yes, there's several questions. First one is also from Teacher Bel Rosario. She asked, "Hello, girls. Have you seen overweight children walking with their fit parents? What do you think about this?"
There's certainly some people who are like that, but I believe that with a few healthy tips, for example, like Malaysian healthy plate to help guide them to a better and healthier life. Maybe they could also do some exercise to help them, or maybe some therapy as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Daphne, for that answer. I see a question from AI, if I'm not mistaken. They ask, what is your suggestion to make unhealthy food become healthy food?
Uh, Grace, would you like to answer?
Yes. Um, when we when the unhealthy food when the healthy food become unhealthy, it's because too much sugar is have they consume too much sugar, which will causes the blood glucose levels in our body to increase, which will make the food to become unhealthy. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Grace, for the answer. Now we have another question from Victor Lee. Does the Malaysian healthy plate that you guys created can be used by everyone besides diabetic patients?
Certainly, everyone could use it, even if you are healthy or unhealthy. But everyone can use Malaysian healthy plate as a guideline to help them in their daily life.
Thank you,
Okay,
Definitely.
Daphne.
But
Yeah. Sorry, continue on.
but we do encourage people with diseases to use it to take the Malaysian healthy plate as a guidelines to improve their health. Yeah.
Definitely, yes. I actually have a question of my own. Um, what challenges have you faced while making this project?
Well, there are certainly a lot of challenges that we have faced throughout our journey here. But if I were to say the two most major challenges is the fact that we are unable to meet each other physically to do our discussion. We could only rely on digital devices to do our discussion verbally or through texts, but no demonstration whatsoever. And it is also very hard for us to settle for a time to conduct a meeting since both of us have different schedules. But besides that, we have also encountered with many technical problems, as you can see from just now. But we have taken many opinions and advices from the people around us to improve our presentation. For example, we have changed the fonts of our presentation, the videos, the way we set it up, the way we present, and there's a lot more, but I cannot remember. And I think that's all about our challenges that we have faced.
Oh, I see. Nonetheless, it's obvious you guys managed to pull through. I can see all the effort you guys put into your presentation. Don't you think so, Les?
Absolutely. The slides they prepared are so pretty. I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen.
Agreed. So, looking at the chat, there's one more question, also from Victor Lee. Will you guys sell it on school grounds if it's allowed?
Oh, yes, certainly. We would encourage students as well to take Malaysian healthy plan as their guideline to eat healthy. And since we are in the PDPR phase, most students, I believe, seldom do exercises at home. But besides exercising, that's why we have created a Malaysian meal for you guys to follow as well to help keep you guys fit. Yes.
Okay. Well, I myself have a question. Would you consider the Malaysian healthy plate to be much more affordable compared to normal meals made in Malaysia?
That's a good question, Ethan. Well, in my opinion, I personally think that Malaysian healthy plate is actually more expensive than the regular one that we eat every day. This is because Malaysian healthy plate uses a higher quality of ingredients and it's more organic compared to the regular one. However, people can cope with this problem by maintaining a healthy diet by themselves, such as consuming more fruits and vegetables. Besides that, they can also increase their physical activities like go to jogging at the park which really helps in controlling their blood glucose levels in their body. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Grace, for that wonderful answer. Okay, guys, seeing that there are no other questions, the time for Daphne and Grace's presentation has come to an end. Thank you once again to Grace and Daphne for this wonderful presentation. Thank you, guys. Before we move on, Ethan, would you like to remind them something that they may or may not have forgotten?
Reminder to everyone in the audience right now, the link to the attendance form will be in the chat box. So go ahead and fill it out as it will increase your PAJSK marks too. Okay, before we move on to the next presentation, the topic of healthiness has arisen from our last presentation from both Grace and Daphne. I have to ask, other than keeping a healthy meal, what do you do to keep yourself healthy?
Other than eating healthy meals, I probably just go out to exercise. Not that regularly, but yeah, I do exercise maybe once or twice a week. How about you, Ethan?
Well, as for myself, I exercise rather regularly, which is 3 times a week. Also, I make sure to always get enough sleep. I have to make sure that I get enough sleep of 8 hours a day. So the next day I can be fully functioning. If I don't sleep for 8 hours, then I'll be sleepy the whole day, even if it's 7 hours and 59 minutes.
Okay, Ethan. I'm very proud of you for sleeping exactly 8 hours per day. Okay, now before we move on, I have a question for you, Ethan, regarding our next presenters. Do you know the meaning of the word aquaponic?
No, but I'm definitely intrigued. What is it?
Well, we'll definitely find out with our next group, also from SENSEI Chantal. Everyone, please welcome Arlene Rachel, Roxette Every, and Daniela Camelia on their project Aquaponic. It looks like we are lagging. Please give us a moment to reconnect. And we're back.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Thank you, moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. Uh, Thank you, moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Erin Rachel from SMJK Chantal.
I am Daniela.
And I'm Roxette.
Sabah Hebat say no to number 1, to number 16, and yes to number 10. This afternoon, we would like to present our STEM project, Aquaponic. We are going to talk about what is aquaponic, how does this aquaponic design system work, the advantage and disadvantages of aquaponic, and the difference between aquaponic and hydroponics. And by the end of our presentation, we will show you a video about our aquaponic progression.
So first of all, we have to understand the meaning of aquaponic. What is aquaponic? Aquaponic
is a cooperation between fish and plant. The term originates from two words, which is aquaculture and hydroponics. Hydroponics is a planting method without the use of soil. So, an aquaponic is a sustainable farming and gardening method in which you can grow fish and vegetable in just one system.
Now we come to the next point, which is how aquaponic design system work. Let me first give you a brief overview. In short, there are three elements in this ecosystem: fish, plants, and bacteria. The fish produce waste. The bacteria transform the waste into nutrition for the plants, and the plants clean up water for the fish. But how does the fish transform? How does the fish waste transform into nutrition? Let's take a look at this aquaponic biological cycle. Meet Freddy, a fish that sometimes just needs to release a bit of waste. This waste is full of ammonia. Plants cannot absorb ammonia, however, bacteria can transform it into nitrate, the perfect nutrition for plants. We need two kinds of bacteria. The first bacteria transform ammonia to nitrite. The second bacteria convert these nitrites to nitrate, which can be absorbed by the roots of the plants. And that's how fish and bacteria keep the plants happy.
And now, I will talk about how aquaponic design works in detail. Number one, aquaponics integrate aquaculture and hydroponics into one production system. Aquaponics rely on the food introduced for fish, which work as system input. As fish eat this food and process it, they transform it into urine and fecal water, both rich in ammonia, which in sufficient quantities can be toxic to plants and fish. The water flows together with uneaten food, decaying plant matter, from the fish tank into a biofilter. Afterward, inside this biofilter, bacteria break everything down into organic nutrient solution for growing vegetable. Aquaponic freshwater system rely on freshwater aquatics animals such as the fish, nitrifying bacteria, and plants, and all three living entities depends on each other to survive. Without the bacteria to consume the fish waste, plant would have an usable form of nutrient either, which is why biological filtration is crucial. And now, I would like to talk about the advantages of aquaponics. Number one, it is an intensive food production system that's still sustainable. Number two, it encompasses two agricultural products being produced from one nitrogen sources. Number three, it is an extremely water efficient system. Number four, it doesn't require soil. And the last one, it doesn't require using fertilizer or chemical pesticides.
However, every coin has two sides. We can also find some weaknesses that come along during adopting an aquaponic design. So, what are the disadvantages of aquaponic? The first one is very initial startup cost. Compared with both hydroponic or soil production system, of aquaponic is one of its weaknesses. And the second one is aquaponic require deep expertise in the natural world. The third one is first fish feed need to be purchased on a regular basis. And the last one is mistake managing the system can quickly cause it collapse.
We had used cheap and simple materials to build our aquaponic model, such as transparent plastic cups, sponge, polystyrene, and fish feed. So the total cost we have spent for our aquaponic model is 9 ringgit and 10 cents. This is our DIY aquaponic model progression, which will be shown in our video later.
So as you can see, this is our aquaponic model. We are using tilapia fish and onion for the plants.
So, well then, we have mentioned about hydroponic earlier, but do you know what's the difference between aquaponics and hydroponics? Aquaponics involve growing fishes and plants together within the same environment, which is considered to be a sustainable process. Meanwhile, hydroponics is a gardening method that allows for plants to be grown without the use of soil.
Right then, here are some of the other example of aquaponic model that can be found on the internet.
Now we have
Good day
reached
to
to the
everyone
end of our slide presentation. So Roxette is going to show us our aquaponic model progression video.
Good day to everyone watching this video. I'm Aruna Chelda from SM Shantau. I'm looking forward to talk with you about our aquaponic design system. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is aquaponic and how does aquaponic system work. So before I start, have you ever heard the words aquaponic? Well, aquaponic is one of the most sustainable way to grow food. In a simple explanation, aquaponic is a combination of aquaculture, which is growing food and other aquatic animal, and hydroponic, which is growing vegetable without any soil. And moving on to how does aquaponic design system work? The idea is simple. In a closed-loop system, water from a tank full of fish, rich with fish waste, irrigates and feed plants that grow in a bed of gravel. The fish eat the food and excrete waste, which is converted by beneficial bacteria to nutrient that the plant can use. And finally, here's how we set up an aquaponic system with easy steps. First, we cut the polystyrene in the shape of circle a little bigger than the size of the fish tank. We cut the polystyrene into half and make a few holes in it. And then we punch a few holes in each cup we're using. Then we use sponge so that the plant gets enough water. We put a hot glue around the half-cut polystyrene and stick it on the tank. And finally, we put the plant on the polystyrene and boom!
our DIY aquaponic design system. We hope this has given you some insight into what exactly an aquaponic system is and how you can set up your own to start growing food for your whole family, either in your kitchen or in the backyard. Good luck growing your own food.
Thank you, Roxette, for showing us the video just now. Now we have reached to the end of our presentation. I hope you all could learn or regain some knowledge from us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you guys for your awesome presentation. Now, before we start our Q&A session, a gentle reminder to fill in the attendance form that has Sorry, I think I'm lagging a bit. Yep, please fill in the chat box, guys, for the people in the audience. Okay, guys, getting back on track. Go ahead and leave any questions for the presenters in the chat box. There's a statement from username Justin Lanak Jr. Aquaponic. I don't need to. I go to the market seldom since I will use this idea at home as my mini market. Wow, looks like some people actually using this idea. That's really good. Okay, looking at the chat box, teacher Val Rosario also commented, this aquaponic, excuse me, this aquaponic is a good idea to earn extra income. Perhaps the school can get help from MAFI, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industry Sabah. Yes, I agree. This aquaponic is a good idea to get the vegetables to sell, to get extra income for the school. Don't you guys agree?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at the comments. Les, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. I was focused on the fishes you use, and I got curious on what is the best type of fish for aquaponics.
Thank you for the question. The best fish for aquaponics system depends on the size of the system, the location and temperature of the system, and what types of crops the system will grow. Tilapia and catfish are among the top choices.
Wow. Pretty cool, Ethan.
So sorry,
Unfortunately,
I
the
like
line
again.
today.
Yes, definitely. I think it's actually really cool. Actually, while you were focused on the fish, I was more focused on what can you grow in aquaponics.
Well, that's a great connective question over there. Well, we can grow leafy greens, flowers, and small roots vegetables such as tomatoes and peppers.
Like, thank you, Daniela, for that answer. But unfortunately, me and Ethan are lagging quite bad. The line today isn't really on our side.
So sorry, guys. Okay, now looking at the chat box, looks like there are no questions left. So we will be letting you guys go now. Thank you again to our fellow presenters, Arlene, Roxette, and Daniela for their awesome presentation.
Ethan, I think your audio is delayed, but that's okay. Ethan, I want to ask you, um, since your topic was about gardening, I wanted to ask you if you had any experience in gardening, or let me rephrase that. Do you have green hands?
Well, yeah, I actually have some experience in gardening, even though I'm not an official member of the gardening club of our school. My friends has invited me to help them out there during my free time. I've planted lots of plants and I've What are the plants there when no one was there to water it on school holidays? What about you, Les?
Oh, I don't really have green hands. From my experience, um, I followed my mom gardening when I was little, but the plants seem to have wilted and died after a few months of not watering them. I think I have to better my skills in gardening in the near future. Okay, well, now if you look at the time, it seems like we are closer to our end for this webinar. Itanya, would you like to wrap this whole event up?
It would be my pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you now the presentation of e-certificates. All right, thank you to the media team. Now we are going to close the curtain for this webinar. Once again, we would like to thank you to everyone who has tuned in. Without your presence, this webinar would not be very successful. Even though there were a few technical difficulties here and there, I think this webinar overall has been a success. To the media team and presenters, a very good job to all of you, and may you continue to strive high and succeed in your life ahead.
Okay, guys, don't forget to claim your e-certificates as it will contribute to your PIJSK marks. The link to the attendance form is in the chat box. And once again, we sincerely apologize if there were any technical issues throughout this whole webinar. Now, thank you everyone for your patience. On behalf of PPD Kota Kinabalu and SMJK Shantau Secondary School, we would like to thank the teacher advisors of each participating school and everyone present in this webinar today. To our lovely and beloved audience, thank you for your endless support. My name is Leslie Pavel.
And my name is Muhammad Nathaniel. We hope to see you in the future STEM is Fun webinars to come. Everyone, stay safe and have a great day. Goodbye.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye.